Andy Stevenson for Severe MMA, and I'm joined by Ian Coughlan ahead of his fight against Konstantin Nusaryov next week on the Bellator Dublin card. How are you doing today, Ian?
I'm very good, and thanks for pronouncing his name properly, because I can't, so that's good.
It's a bit of a mouthful, so I've been practicing that all week. But I suppose, kind of first things first, we're here in O'Shea's and Talbot Street for the kind of the Bellator, or the Team Rhino kind of Bellator Media Day. But I know that you've been representing Jorge Santos, BJJ, kind of in your first fight and in your amateur days. Yeah. Is this kind of like a new development, or have you been training with Team Rhino kind of the last while, or what's the story with that?
No, it's relatively new. So I've been in Rhino for close to a year now. So basically what I used to do was I used to kind of train the arts individually, and you need to connect them, and you need to connect them with really good people. Everywhere I was in a Muay Thai club, a Jiu-Jitsu club, everyone was great people, but maybe not as many professionals, so now I'm surrounded by professionals and I'm training together. I'm not looking to find sparring partners anymore. Do you know what I mean? There's
right.
More partners than I could ever ask for in Rhino, you know what I mean? It was just that next step. I had a chat with myself and my family and stuff, and decided, I'm going to take it to the next level. I'm going to really commit to it 100%, and then I went to Rhino.
Gotcha, that makes sense. And obviously, so your kind of background is in judo. You're a third dan judo black belt, if I'm correct. So I suppose when you're kind of looking at this fight, and if you look at, say, your previous fights, your pro debut against Maciej Grabowski, hopefully I pronounced that one right too, was first round armbar, and similarly all your wins at amateur were by armbar. So was that kind of at the back of your mind? Is there kind of a pressure on you to kind of develop your strike and show that kind of that other side of your game, and similarly to what you were saying about kind of joining Team Rhino in that regard?
Yeah, the thing about the striking is, I've always been, alright at the striking, but I think a lot of it was the fact that I wasn't doing MMA. So if I was striking, it was big gloves, shin pads, just Muay Thai, for example. And then you go out there in a cage wearing 4-ounce gloves, and it's completely different. And then all of a sudden, it's like, oh no, just your instincts take over, which for me would be grappling, So, yeah, it's improving. I've made a big point to improve it. I think a lot of it is just getting comfortable with the MMA side of things, do you know what I mean? So, in this fight, you'll probably see Strike. He's a good wrestler, so I'm not just going to be able to take him down easily, so I'm going to have to show a lot, so, yeah. Yeah,
and you kind of noted yourself there, so your opponent, I think he goes by Consti at SBG, he's a Moldovan kind of wrestler. I suppose, how do you, just before we started recording, you were kind of talking about how you've known about your opponent for kind of 12 weeks out, so you've been focusing on him for a long time now, but I suppose, how do you kind of see the fight going? Is it going to be a lot of grappling exchanges, or do you see you kind of nullifying each other and kind of playing out in the feet, or what are your thoughts?
I see him wanting to wrestle, to be honest with you. I think he'll want to wrestle. Maybe as ideas in his head, we'll strike. I'm happy enough with that. I think pretty quickly on he'll want to wrestle. But as soon as we're finished wrestling, now we're doing jiu-jitsu, and that's my world as well, you know what I mean? So, look, he's a very good opponent. He's a very, very good wrestler. I'm a good judo player, but his level of wrestling will be higher than my level of judo. So I think it's safe to say if he wants to take me down, he might be able to. I don't think I should go in there thinking, he won't be able to take me down, or that's silly. I'm not one of those crazy, arrogant guys. So I think he'll want to wrestle, and then we'll go from there.
Cool. And then I suppose you kind of mentioned before that you're not necessarily cutting much weight for this fight. Your first fight was at 185 pounds. This one's now at 170. Is that the plan going forward to fight at welterweight?
Oh, 100. Literally, I weighed in for that last fight 181, 182. I took that fight on about 3 weeks. An opportunity came, and I just said I'll jump on it. You know what I mean? By the time I took that last fight, I hadn't fought in something to do with a year due to a lot of stuff going on, moving house a few times and a bunch of cancellations. So 3 weeks, 185, I said I'll jump on it, you know what I mean? I had a bit of leverage there because they needed someone, so I said, let's just both not cut weight. It was a 170 pounder, I'm a 170 pounder. I said let's not cut weight, so definitely 170 pounds. Yeah.
And then I suppose, again, kind of looking at your upcoming opponent in Nusaryov, he's coming up from 155 pounds. Do you think that you're going to have kind of a size advantage there? Will that kind of play into your hands?
No, I don't think so. I reckon stepping in the cage, he could be heavier than me, to be honest with you. I reckon he could be heavier than me. I'm not too big on the size advantage thing. I was talking to someone the other day about it. I think that's an excuse for a lot of people. Don't get it wrong. If we're talking about 5 kilos or more, of course, size is a real thing. Let's be honest about that. But if someone's a kilo or two bigger than you, and that's a skill thing. Then it's not. A kilo or two doesn't really make the difference. So I'm probably taller and longer than him, but I reckon on the day will be a similar weight, if not him being a little bit heavier. So I don't really see it being an advantage. I see me not having to kill myself cutting crazy amounts of weight as hopefully being the advantage. That's what I see, as hopefully being the advantage. Not to train good until quite late on in the fight week, you know what I mean?
And then I suppose when he's not necessarily Irish, but he's Moldovan, but he's an SBG man. So is there kind of that bit of added kind of fire there, where there's kind of the rivalry between the two teams? Obviously, there was a lot of kind of back and forth in the last while between like Miles Price and the likes of Peter Queally and Kiefer Crosby. Does that play into you, or is it kind of just another opponent? It's not really about him himself or the teams. It's more just kind of going in and doing your thing and competing.
Maybe marginally. Like, I like the idea of representing Rhino as being one of the top clubs against another one of the top clubs. I mean, for me, it might be a little feather in the cap beating a guy from a really prestigious club, though. You know what I mean? Like, I've beat guys in the amateur circuit and all that, and they were good fighters, but maybe they weren't like serious full-time athletes, like, at a top club. You know what I mean? So that might be a little feather in my cap, but it's more just about a fight. You know what I mean? I don't think too much into that stuff.
And lastly, this kind of the old age cliche question, but I suppose, how do you see the fight playing out? Can you give us a prediction? And then what are your kind of goals? Like, are you looking to kind of stay with Bellator and kick on with that organisation, or obviously you're very early in your professional career, but where do you see yourself kind of a year, 2 years down the road?
I'm seeing very big things. Taking it one step at a time, this will be a really good fight to see where I'm at, but I have very high expectations. I'm not doing this just to get a little sponsor and win one fight. I'm doing it to have a very successful career. So I'm hoping to go out there, win the fight, get a permanent contract with Bellator, and then really kick off in 2020, right? So yeah, as far as the specific fight, he's a tough guy. He's a good, strong wrestler. He's not gonna fold over. I reckon second or third round submission. I'm not gonna tell you what submission. I have a few ideas in my head. I'd say it'll be a tough fight. I'd say he'll get more third than I will. Second or third round, I'll put him away with a submission. That's my prediction.
Cool. Ian Coughlan, thank you very much. All the best next week.
Thank you.
Cheers. Nice, and thanks very much,
Thanks
Ian.
for that, man. Thank you.
Andy Stevenson for Severe MMA, and I'm joined by Ian Coughlan.